Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs, or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Welcome, listeners, to our Day 2 preview postcast for the Punchestown Festival. And joining me, Lee Mortishead, we have from the Racing Post, David Jennings and Justin O'Hanlon, and from our lovely sponsors, Paddy Power, Mr. Paul Binfield. We will go the time-honoured way of progressing through the card in chronological order, which means starting at 3:40 afternoon tea time for the Martinstown Opportunity Final. A huge field. Justin O'Hanlon, decipher what's going to happen.
Well, after complaining that there's only 11 runners in the handicap hurdle today, I think we have we're back to proper Punchestown handicap hurdles here in this. I was only able to pick 4 out of this race, Lee, unfortunately, but it's a desperately difficult contest to sort out. A couple though that come to my mind as being possibly ahead of the handicapper. One of them is definitely the Robert Tyner trained Blast of Cooman, who finally got off the mark in an egg and spoon maiden hurdle at Limerick the last day, but last year he was only beaten a length and a half by invitation only in a bumper at the meeting here. He wants good ground. This is probably the first time he's had it all season. Off a mark of 1:14, he looks well treated. A couple of others who catch me eye in that race. Arthur Moore runs cross my mind. He's only had 3 runs, but dotted up in the maiden hurdle the last day. A similar sort of maiden hurdle to what Blast of Cooman won, really, and is off a similar mark. Denali, I think, is a horse who is capable of winning a big handicap like this off that sort of mark. And then you got a Black Zero who's running off 110 over hurdles. Chase rating's about 100 and somewhere in 116 and 120, and he could be potentially thrown in as well. Very interesting race, but difficult one to sort out. I think Blast of Cooman, if I was going to have a bet, would be the one.
Okay, interesting but difficult, says Justin. DJ, that's a pretty darn fair assessment, isn't it?
Yeah, Justin said that he thought Blast of Cooman could be well treated. I think he's absolutely chucked in, to be honest with you. Something that our own Martin O'Neill has received, the Blast of Cooman.
That's the football reference.
Football, yeah. Ireland manager, Everton manager Ronald Koeman.
No.
Former Dutch footballer. No,
I've heard of them both.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I think he's really well treated off 114. The performance at Limerick was more workmanlike than anything else, but it's Justin made all the points perfectly well as usual. He's got good ground. If you remember in the bumper last year, he gave invitation only a right scare, and there's plenty in behind that have won races this season. Like 114, he's a long way better than that. Barry John Foley's a good rider, one of the better riders in the race. I think it's a huge field, but granted luck and running, he's a good jumper, needs to go right-handed, needs good ground. He's got Everton in his favour. I presume he's been laid out for this race. He'll make a smashing chaser next season. Yeah, Blast of Cooman for me.
Okay, Binners, I know you guys have got you priced up the big race. It's not priced up this one as yet, but bearing in mind that both our boys are big on Blast of Cooman, the Paddy Power odds compilers will be shaving his intended odds right now, will they not?
They will indeed, with the millions of viewers on this postcast lead. As the lads say, 25 runners, desperately difficult. I've got 2 others to add to the 6 we've already said. Shamaran won the race last year for Dermot McLaughlin. He's off only £1 higher in the weight, so I wouldn't rule him out doing it again. And we'd love to see an English raider going for Welsh even going for broke. Rebecca Curtis, she won a race here last year with Irish Cavalier. This one won a couple of novice hurdles, been running around Bangor and Foss Lass, and now turns up at Punchestown for JP McManus. So that one could be interesting, but fiendishly difficult opener for punters.
Indeed it is.
Shamaran going for his 4th win in the race, of course. He's won the race the last 2 years. Won it also in 2012.
Which would be lovely to see a 4th win in the race for Shamaran. The next one is the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel hurdle, 2.5 miles, 4-year-olds plus. There is a British rider in this one. Barden was 3rd in the race last year for Nicky Henderson. How do you see it, DJ?
Battleford should win, I think. It's not a particularly good race. Actually, it's a pretty poor race. Manila Till Dawn does have a chance. Was running particularly well last time. He fell at the last, didn't he, in Fairy Hayes, Manila Till? Would have won? You think so?
I thought he would have won. I think he's a moral in this race.
Yeah.
Don't need.
You've swayed me now, Justin. Maybe he is a moral, certainly. But Battleford, I thought his jumping is obviously is key. He was the subject of a monumental gamble in the Martin Pipe at Cheltenham. He went off a very short price favourite, having been double figures. I just think his jumping needs to improve, but if it does improve, I just slightly favour Battleford over Manila Till Dawn, but I've got no really strong opinion, to be honest.
You got a strong opinion, Justin?
Nah.
Justin has no strong opinion. Binners?
I think the Gordon Elliott pair are quite interestingly. Milshawn or Milshane. It's a little bit of a gamble. He's not been running well of late, but his first time for Gordon Elliott. He did win the Albert Bartlett a couple of years ago, and off the ratings, he looks to have second in the Albert Bartlett, but he looks to have be in okay at the weights. And the other one, Minella Till Dawn, you just touched on him a bit. Fell at Fairyhouse. He was third over 2 miles at Naas, and maybe this 2.5 miles might suit that one a little bit.
David Jennings, Milshawn or Milshane?
Milshawn, I mean sweets in Irish.
What sort of sweets?
Sweets as in sweets.
Oh, it's Gaelic?
Yeah, it's Irish.
Irish?
Irish, yeah, for sweets.
Irish for sweets?
You British, butchering the Irish language again. What?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Milshawn is sweets.
Millish is sweet.
Milshawn are sweets. Sweets. Yeah.
I don't know where you learned Irish.
Well, I learned Irish probably 40 years later than you did, so.
So, heated debate there on the subject of whether Milshawn is sweets or not. We move on to the Irish Daily Mirror Novice Hurdle. First Grade 1 on the card. Cracking races. 3 Cheltenham Festival winners from the festivities of last month. Champagne Classic won the Martin Pipe. Penhill won the Albert Bartlett, beating Monley into second. Monley goes as well. And Presenting Percy, the much discussed Presenting Percy, won the Potemps Network by quite a wide margin for a badly handicapped horse. David Jennings, cracking races.
It is a cracking race, and it's probably one of the most interesting races of the entire week, to be honest with you, because there's so many ifs and buts. Monley and Penhill obviously renew rivalry. You know, they pulled a long way clear in Cheltenham, and that's very, very solid form. Presenting Percy looked pretty awesome, winning the Potemps final. The unknown quantity, who I think is probably a little bit too big of a price, is Alboom Photo. Now, obviously, Ruby has to ride Penhill. He's the Albert Bartlett winner. But Alboom Photo looked very good, I thought, at Fairyhouse. He's a horse that they do think a lot of, and they don't actually know how good he is. That was 2 mile 4 that day. I don't think 3 mile is going to pose a problem to him. I think he's potentially overpriced at about 9-1, just because he's a second string in the Mullins yard. And one of my guilty pleasures is in this race, Moulin Avant, trained by Noel Meade, who Noel still thinks he's the best horse in the yard. He'll probably be about 33-1. He is a very, very good horse. He hasn't proved it yet. He had a slight problem, and then he went for a race in Aintree, but the ground was too quick. He will run better than a 33-1 shot. Whether he's good enough to win this, probably not, but they'd be the two for me, Alboom Photo and Moulin Avant.
Shall I tell you a little anecdote?
Yeah.
Well, so during the Cheltenham Festival, start of the week, a friend of mine who knows someone in the Mullins yard said to me the horse that they like a huge amount for the Martin Pipe, but he won't get in, is Alboom Photo. He was so.
I think I know that friend. Is he a famous journalist?
Did you go for lunch with that friend on the Saturday in Cheltenham?
It was Mr. Alistair Down, wasn't it?
He was very sweet.
He said it on the Postcast.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, right.
I wasn't even on it, and I was listening better than you.
So it's not much of an anecdote then,
We're
really.
going to get into a debate here now.
Well, no, all I was going to say was I then didn't notice Alboom Photo running at Fairyhouse when he won it. Was it 10-1?
I texted him straight after the race, and I said, "I hope you backed it. Thanks a million." And he replied, and he said, "Not a single penny piece that I've on it. I was waiting for Punchestown." So there you go.
Oh, so maybe this is the day. Justin, is this the day or another day?
Well, you know, there's a little bit of a contradiction here now, because Alboom Photo, Minella Till Dawn would have beaten Alboom Photo had he jumped the last.
You don't know that.
And yet Minella Till Dawn, you know, he doesn't fancy him for the race beforehand, which is an egg and spoon.
I do think he'll probably win Minella Till Dawn.
Okay, you're forgiven. I think Alboom Photo has a chance as well, but it should come down to the three big guns. I think Monolly will get a bit closer to Penhill today. If he settles a bit better than he did at Cheltenham, but Penhill does, to me, seem to act particularly well on tracks with stiff uphill finishes. But he has to be the one to beat.
Okay.
Presenting Percy, I just don't like handicap form going into Grade 1s. It more often than not it just doesn't work out, and I think Penhill is the most likely winner.
It does in Group 1 sprints, but I suppose they're a bit different to Grade 1 3-mile novice hurdles.
They are by their very nature, but I think you'll find it works out.
Yeah, incisive commentary from us both there. Binners, how are you betting on the Grade 1 novice hurdle?
Well, we bet 9-4 Penhill, and then we're 11-4 both Monolly and Presenting Percy, the Potemps final winner, and then it's 14 to 1 bar, 15 to 2, sorry, Alboom Photo, and 14's bar. So pretty close market at the top three there, Lee.
And do you have a view on this race, Paul?
Yeah, I really fancy Presenting Percy. Pat Kelly said after the attempts that he'd probably put him away for fences next season. They've been tempted to come to Punchestown, which is good to see. He carried a lot of weight in that attempts and absolutely hacked up, as you said, a really badly handicapped horse. And at the ratings, he's got £6 over Penhill. I think he's a bit of value at 11 to 4.
And you'll note there that Paul and myself both indulge in a little satire in relation to Presenting Percy and his handicap mark. We move on then to the signature race of the Punchestown Festival, the Punchestown Gold Cup, this year sponsored by Coral, and it has got the Gold Cup winner in the race in Sizing John. Jesse Harrington and Robbie Power back with Sizing John. Previous Gold Cup winner coming into race 2, Coney Green. We've got Jack Adam 3 times placed in the Gold Cup, plus Champagne West, Fleming Star and Outlander. What a cracking contest, Justin.
Absolutely. But there's only one winner. It's Sizing John.
You
Do you want
don't
to elaborate?
Elaborate in about 20 seconds.
Well, not only is he the best horse in the race, but he's the most versatile horse in the race. I had my doubts about him getting the 3 1/4 in Cheltenham. He blew that out. He blew that out of the water. Stepping back to 3 miles, I think, is only going to suit him even more. He's already proved himself superior to the likes of Jack Adam in the race, and indeed Champagne West, whom I fancied at Cheltenham, and Outlander indeed. Coney Gree is the only unknown quantity really in terms of recent form, but I'd be very surprised if Sizing John couldn't beat him.
Bidders, what are the Paddy Power prices?
Well, we make Sizing John a fraction of odds on Lee, 10 to 11 favourite. Then it's 130 Jack Adam. Coney Green 9 to 2, was 6 to 1 at one point. Outlander 9 to 1 to bounce back from Cheltenham. 16 to 1 Champagne West, and that's your 6 runners.
And your views?
Well, I thought Sizing John a little bit too short for me. Won the Gold Cup really well, obviously. I'm going to take a gamble here and go for Coney Green. I'll never forget the way he won the Gold Cup a couple of years ago as a novice. Brilliant performance. I don't think the Bradstocks would be bringing him here if he's not fit to do himself justice. Hopefully he'll get over the injury, and I can't wait to see Coney Green back in action.
Well, as we stand around the Punchestown paddock, the skies are black and grey over us, and how the Bradstocks would love them to release lots of wet stuff onto what is very thick and deep grass, which is in their favour. But DJ, any chance of a win for the Romantics with Coney Green?
Would it be that romantic?
Well, I think it would be, yeah. It would be romantic for the Brits. He's a very popular horse over there. Won the Gold Cup as a novice, represents very small connections. He's sort of one of those horses that goes out, does it from the front, tries to gram them into submission.
Romantic comedy, maybe. Would it be?
It's a tad harsh.
It's like Love Actually.
Do you know, I've never seen Love Actually.
Oh, God, great film.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
so you don't see Coney Green winning this?
I think Sizing John will probably win. Would I back him at 10 to 11? Absolutely not. Does he deserve to be 10 to 11? Probably not. The funny thing is, I was never a Sizing John fan. I didn't fancy him at all for the Gold Cup. Not only did I not think he'd stay, even if he did stay, I didn't think he was good enough, to be honest with you. I was all over Jack Adam in the Gold Cup, and up until the second last, I was thinking this is too good to be true. He jumped brilliantly, he travelled brilliantly, and I was shocked to see he didn't go shorter than he did in running. He looked the winner the whole way through the race, and then he hit the second last and he was gone. I can't make head nor tail of Jack Adam. I think he looks like a King George winner. That's what I think personally.
That's what Willie said after the race. Well, not a winner, but he thought that might be his race.
I do, because I think he's such a good jumper and he's such a quick jumper that something like Kempton might suit him. And he's fine going right-handed, and on his first start of the season, I know he's bounced back from some bruising battles at Cheltenham to run well here. But Sizing John beat him fair and square in the end. I don't think the mistake actually cost Jack Adam the race. I've never been a lover of Sizing John, but like Justin said, I think he'd probably win.
He does look.
He just falls just a fraction short of this level, Jack Adam. I think it's as simple as that.
Okay, that was our assessment of the Punchestown Gold Cup. I think it's probably now time for a commercial break.
Check out Paddy Power's latest offer for the Punchestown Festival. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP favourite. Every race, every day. Max £25 per race. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back, listeners. Joining myself, Lee Mottershead, are David Jennings, Justin O'Hanlon and Paul Binfield. And we're on to race 5, a major new sponsorship for the Champion Bumper, sponsored by the Racing Post. Yes, indeed, David, go on the Racing Post.
Is that a new venture, is it?
I think we used to sponsor the Champion Hunter Chase.
Oh yeah,
And we
that's not a new venture, is it? There's not.
No. We've been around a while.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No, indeed. And this year's champion bumper is small on numbers, disappointingly, but very, very big on quality. Carter Mackay, Go Another One, Paloma Blue, Poliwa, Someday, Feyenoord, the champion bumper winner from Cheltenham, and Del Oro representing Gary Moore and the Brits. David Jennings, discuss.
I was going to back Someday in the champion bumper at Cheltenham until he was lame in the morning of the race, but I think it's I wouldn't worry about that because I think it's a factor in the horse. I think he can be a bit groggy, as they say in the mornings, and I think they still wanted to run, but they weren't allowed. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think. I think he's a very, very good horse. Thought the performance at Leopardstown suggested he was a Grade 1 horse in the making. Jessica's record here is just phenomenal. Our horses are in terrific form. Look, Feyenoord could be something really, really special. That performance at Cheltenham was spectacular. To do what she did, I'm not quite sure it was the best bumper we've ever seen at Cheltenham. I know Debouché has come out in one since, but I just have question marks about the form, and I'm willing to give Someday another chance, and I'll be backing Someday.
David will be backing someday tomorrow. It's a good line, that, David. Justin, what will you be backing?
I as a betting medium, I'll probably sit it out, but I agree with mostly everything that Jenno said about Someday. Possibly the most likely winner of the race, but Fiona's performance at Cheltenham was just one of the most extraordinary ones you'll ever see, no matter how good or bad the race was. Carter Mackay is certainly not as bad as he showed at Cheltenham. You know, I'd be willing to give him another chance. And for a bit of trivia, does anyone know who Carter Mackay was?
No, we don't know.
Yeah, he was the character played by George Kennedy in Dallas.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I was always more of a dynasty man.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, you could have been both.
I quite like the constant battle between the Colbys and the Carringtons. You know, Alexis and Blake.
Did you watch the spin-off the Colbys as well? Did you watch that?
No, I think I really went off it after Fallon was taken off in the spaceship. I thought that sort of made the programme lost a bit of credibility.
Right, I missed that.
Oh, it was dramatic. You were probably.
I was a Dynasty fan as well.
Paul Binfield, don't necessarily have to discuss Dynasty, but the Racing Post champion Irish national hunt for that race, the odds.
Yeah, 7-4 Feyenoord, the Cheltenham bumper winner. Then we go 9-4 Poliwa, 4 Someday, 5 Carter Mackay, and then it's 20 Bar. If I hate to say that I actually agree with David Jennings and Justin O'Hanlon. It's the first time in my life that I can ever say that. But Someday, I think he beat some really good ones at Leopardstown on Irish Gold Cup Day, and it was such a shame that he didn't run at Cheltenham. But he's got a decent one to beat in Feyenoord.
2 races left to go. It's getting really cold here, so we're going to try and whiz through them. The £100,000 Guinness Handicap Steeplechase. Irish Cavalier won the race.
You hear that song in the background? If anybody can tell me the name of that song, I'll give you a £5 free bet.
Hang on, is that any of the listers or any of us?
Any of yous? All I want to know is the name.
Hang on, producer Jack has raised his hand.
Oh, I didn't know. I owe Justin a £5.
So DJ owes Justin.
Particularly horrific.
DJ owes Justin a £5. Back to the Guinness Chase.
This is my strongest fancy of the day. I fancy right down the middle for Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy. €59,000 to the winner. It's going to be huge in the purse of Gordon Elliott. I just didn't think he quite got home at Aintree. If you stop the race turning in, he tried a very short run that day in the 3 mile handicap chase on Grand National Day. He's very well handicapped. He's come from Mick Mulvaney's to Gordon's. They like him in the yard and they think he's well handicapped. I think he is too. And I think right down the middle is going to be very, very hard to beat.
Binners, prices?
Yeah, Polydam for Willie Mullins is 5-1 favourite. Lee, last year's winner Irish Cavalier, 11-2 for Rebecca Curtis. Then we go 6-1 right down the middle to Jennings likes, and then it's about 15-2 Jetstream Jack, 10-1 Bar.
Okay, Justin, the temperature really has dropped, so let's get your thoughts quite quickly.
I fancy a few against. Right down the middle is one of the ones I have on the shortlist. I like Mr. Diablo of Philip Dempsey's, who was second in the 2 mile 5 novice chase final here last year. He's been local stable that would have laid him out for this. And right down at the bottom you have People's Park of Tom Tass with Rachel Blackmore up. I think he's a horse who's very capable of winning a race like this, and he's got a featherweight in his back. He does tend to disappoint the odd time, but he's got a definite chance in that if he's at his best, I think.
And while the microphone is with you, the mare's bumper to finish?
Minutes to Midnight is probably the best mare in the race. Harrington has a couple of interesting ones down there, including a half-brother to Bobsworth called Nicandra. But it's not a race it doesn't capture the imagination really.
Remarkable scenes here. There's, I think, they might have newly laid gravel, and we've also got a sandstorm whipping across the parade ring area. DJ's come out without a coat on, but a very nice waistcoat. Your views on the mayor's bumper?
I'll be collecting my winnings from right down the middle in the bumper. I have no opinion.
Good lad. Abinas?
I think the key piece of form, Lee, might be Bluegrass Princess beating Mystic Theatre at Naas last time, first and second. Willie Mullins always has brilliant mares, and I suppose his one Mystic Theatre could reverse the form because it was softer heavy that day, although if it stays like this, maybe it'll get a bit softer here as well.
Okay, as hypothermia sets in, our best bets, Paul?
Best bet, Coneygree, Lee.
Coneygree for Paul. Justin?
Minna Little Dawn.
And David?
Right down the middle.
They were your best bets. That was a Day 2 Punchestown preview. We will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Paddy Power stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC. Unlike some other high street bookies, Paddy Power, you beauty!